I ain't, you know, that ain't doing it. It wasn't me. It was him. It wasn't that. We always doing that because, of course, like any victim, you get abused to the point where you're trying to explain to this abuser what is happening to you, that the abuser is incorrect in what they're doing to you. But the abuser, you think he might understand. He don't care about understanding. He care about abusing. That's what he care about. Like, that's why the FedEx driver gets beat up. That's why the Amazon driver pulling the white neighborhood, because he don't care about what's right and wrong. He care about abusing you. He care about feeling this. Yeah, straighten that motherfucker out. That's what he care about. And that is the state of, you know, psychological abuse. And that's what's happened to us in this place. Read on. The mama, was you about to say something?
Shoot, I just wanted to just talk about the I don't know if you remember the insurrection at the Capitol building.
You talking about January 6th?
That was it January 6th?
Yeah.
Johnson.
The big one.
Did you know that they let the one of the white cats out out of jail, and so he could go home and do his sentence at home?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about the harsh conditions that we always complain about in the prisons. And I just wanted to say
it's amazing.
That's crazy since we're talking on that topic now.
Yeah, it's like an abuser only has empathy for himself.
Right.
The smallest thing you do to him, he's going to be furious. If you make him late 5 minutes, I can't believe you made me late. You ain't shit. He's going to be furious because he has ultimate empathy for himself. But if he makes you late, if he drives your car off a cliff, you should have had this car checked out. Of course, I went off the cliff with the car. It ain't my fault. That's abuse. And that's what the white man is doing to us. You know what I mean? The littlest least infraction of a black man, he's calling SWAT in with a helicopter to come and get you. But he murdered somebody on the subway, and the murderer is a good guy. He gonna let all them January 6th guys out. And January 6th, brother, I mean, they defecated in Nancy Pelosi's office on the desk. I mean, you don't get no worse than that, then. You know what I'm saying? They chased the vice president into the bunker. They was walking through the halls looking for the vice president to murder him. He get ready to let him out. The Black Panther Party in the 60s went on the steps of the Capitol with guns. Just walked up on the steps, and they locked all of them up, killed them, locked them up. They was killing them in their house after that. Y'all heard, y'all know better than anybody being from Chicago. It was total death and mayhem on them. That's why the Israelite School, UPK, has always taught what the scriptures taught, which is separate from them. You, like any abuse, when a woman goes to get treated for domestic violence, what's the first thing they say to her? Separate from her. That's why they build these shelters. Them shelters is for a woman to leave the house and go stay in the shelter, and the husband not know where she is, because they know what one thing they know. You would think this man hate her so much, he gonna be glad she gone. Right. I hated that bitch. I'm glad she gone. No, they understand abuse. They understand that the abuser is gonna go and get her back because he never wanted her to leave. Right. He just wanted to abuse her. So that's why they got to make the shelter where you can't get in the shelter or know where it is, because she got to be able to hide from him to get away. And that's what got to happen to us. So we got to be able to hide and get away from this man to get our strength back. You know what I'm saying? But of course, in this world, they teach us, hell no. How the hell you going to, just separate from this place and, it's all wrong and all of this stuff, when it's what they do. It's what they do. Right. But they don't want you to do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Read on. I can finish it up. So, go ahead. Huh? Oh, okay. Let's bring on. We'll come back to that in a second. Can she hear me? Hello, sis.
Shalom.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm okay.
Very good. Very good. I was amazed when you know who I am, right?
Yes, sir. I do.
Why don't you tell me your name?
My name is Erica Amana.
Erica Amana?
Yes, you can call me Amana. That's my Israel name.
Amana? Okay. It's so nice to meet you, sis.
Thank you.
I heard your story, and I was pretty amazed at your story. I was further amazed at the fact that you would take the time to try and share it with brothers and sisters.
Yes, I mean it's quite an astonishment. It was shocking for me to experience. It's definitely a learning experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity uh, to give you my side, my story. All praises to the Most High. Honor to you.
Most High.
Um, um, yeah, it's definitely not expected. I was warned from my
You were
brother.
warned.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My understanding is your brother is in the ISUBK.
Yes, sir.
And he tried to stop you ahead of time.
Yeah, he always mentioned Joy Fowler.
Okay.
And
Okay.
about other little things that happen in between the organization. But I'm the type, and it's terrible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're the type that what?
I gotta see things for myself, which is terrible. Um, but yeah, I it's sad to say to bring it up as an example, but they murdered Joyce Fowler physically, and her soul is not in her body, but they assassinated and murdered my character.
Wow.
Without any thorough examination of a matter. They humiliated me on international live stream.
Mm.
Yeah,
In what way, sis, if you don't mind telling me?
they exposed private messages. I was under the impression that I was discussing matters with a sister I can trust, and believe it or not, it went to leadership. They didn't even speak to me in regards to the matter. There was no counsel, no nothing. Um, it was just broadcasted. I'm getting ready to go to class, and I see it on national live stream,
Wow.
and I'm being criticized as a astonishment in the school.
That must have been devastating.
Yeah, big time, and very humiliating. I never been this embarrassed in my life.
Wow.
I've been, holding myself up with prayer and reading myself, of course, staying in the scripture, but it's been hard. It's like it's so crazy. It's they they said I needed medication, and no, I think I need medication. They undrove me up the wall. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna be all right. I'm fine.
Tell me how this started. What exactly took place in all of this, if you don't mind?
Okay, so I want to
You
say
joined you joined the IUIC, right?
Yes, sir.
Then what happened?
Oh, you want me to start from the beginning?
I sit here all night and listen to your story if you're up for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm if you want to be particular, I'm particularly interested in the rumor of this whole handmaid thing and how and what this is and how sisters are treated in that process.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't call it a handmaid.
Okay.
But see, they have a thing with shaming other camps about having other wives, but they discreetly have other women that serve them. They can have children with the women. They can have some kind of companionship with the women. Sometimes the woman might, the first wife might be okay with it. It depends. Sometimes it's on the low. They don't speak of it.
And the woman is not considered their wives.
No.
Even though she has children by him.
So the thing is, I was offered the opportunity to bear children, and I just could not. And but it was I couldn't bear children, but they some wives, I mean, it was just an absolute no.
When you say they could not, you could not physically, or you could not in good conscience do it because of
I
the
could not
situation.
physically.
Oh, okay. Well, that could
Yeah.
be in, right. Oh, okay.
I mean,
I
it
understand.
never felt right. I'm not gonna lie, it never felt right consciously because it's just I was expecting to come into righteousness and become pure. You know, get right, get clean,
Sure.
and like forsake, you know, fornication, adultery, and all that kind of thing. And so forth. You know, they also claim only having one wife. So I was really confused on the matter. How you want me to have your baby and you're married to so and so? So I moved very slowly, and I really think because I never made a decision, and plus I never bear the child, they became very careless of me. I really feel like if you're not a wife, you know, you're not really cared for. Um, but yeah, that experience, I want to say was estranged. Um, it was definitely a weird place to be. Because I say, look, if you believe in having an alternate wife, just say that. Um,
Because
um,
that's in essence what they're doing. In essence, they are having more than one wife, but they are trying to say they don't have more than one wife while having sex with sisters and having children with sisters and claiming them to not be their wives. Is that correct?
right. But
And
basically, you're
you know,
basically a mistress. You're
mm,
I want to say a glorified side piece. Not
wow.
well, not even glorified. You know, you don't even get that because it's secretive. It's secretive.
That's something because Nate said on a podcast, a very big podcast, that the reason he left the ISUPK was that there was too much polygamy in the ISUPK. Now we come to find out that polygamy is going on in the IUIC, but it's just kept quiet. Am I lying on them?
No, it really is kept on a hush.
Hmm.
I don't know
Is,
if we're.
is
I don't know if anybody has other children, but I know they try to give me children.
hmm. Let me ask you this: is that the reason for the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement?
I don't. Oh, what's that? I mean, are
Oh,
if,
okay. Okay, we
mm,
heard that they were issuing non-disclosure agreements to everyone that joined their organization. So is that just a rumor? Probably.
I mean, I remember when I did join, I was on the line with deacons, captains, and bishops. I think it was a virtual signature. Um, but
Okay, so you virtually signed
yeah.
the NDA.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Wow. And so is the rumor true that and let me just say this, right? We're not here to let me just tell the truth. We here to down IUIC. That's hard to say. We're not really trying to down, but I really deep down inside I had to look inside myself and realize I was lying. Let me tell you why.
At
Because
least you're telling the truth.
it's just a heartbreaking experience to know that these brothers were in the truth in the ISUBK, and then they went and broke off and created this whole religion that is claimed the death of Joy Morgan, and has given us as just as Israelites that care about our people, given us a real terror of what else might be happening with sisters. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so we heard that when you come into the IUIC and you are single, that you are assigned to a house. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, so you're you're given over to a man in breaking, and he's ahead of you. Um, of
A,
course, in
a man,
Israel, the order is, you know, of course, God, Christ, the man, and then the woman.
right?
And he's ahead over you. That
Right.
that can be an intimate relationship. You might have you might be given a role, and your arms go towards that house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much why if you would be
So
like
you,
coming in like sometimes you're a progress because believe it or not, you add wealth to the house.
I got you. So let's say you work a job, right?
Hmm.
Then you pay your tithes, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
and then the rest of your money goes towards that house.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that and that
whatever you donate, it, like
and
you
that
won't see where it goes, but believe it or not, it's a portion of that goes to that man to that house.
and that house might be a man with a woman that he claims to be his wife, and you who he may claim is not his wife.
Right? Yes.
And you may or may not have an intimate relationship with it.
Right.
So there are sisters, so I can get it right. There are
Mhm.
sisters that are assigned to a house
Mhm.
with a man and his wife.
Right.
Who she does not have an intimate relationship with that man. Hopefully, she doesn't have an intimate relationship with the woman either.
Right.
I'm just saying. And
Mhm.
her money goes to that house.
Mhm.
Isn't that the essence of slavery?
Oh, God.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh.
she's giving her labor is going to that house, and she has no guarantee of any return or any guarantee of marriage or any guarantee of children. Am I right?
Well, if you show good faith, of course, good standing, you, and if you are in good standing, you could be offered to prove a spouse on your own. But you have to, of course, be righteous. Um, you have to
And what
be involved in the congregation, pay your tithes, of course, follow the commandments. But like I want to say my position, because I can't really explain anybody else's. When I was
understand?
coming in, um, it was I want to say they were kind of like it was desperate. I even know some women who were like okay with it, long it's their husband's glory, long as he's satisfied. Um, Especially when it became to the older ones. Long as he's satisfied, and long as you know something's coming in, they're good. They're okay with it. So
Wow,
it went from go ahead.
that's pimping at its best.
Oh, God.
Mhm.
So if
Is it true that if you're assigned to a house,
mhm.
that you are subservient to the woman he claims is his only wife?
Well, I don't want to say you serve her. If anything, she can help bring you up into the truth. There is a you could develop a friendship. Um,
But you're not
it,
ordered. You're not ordered to follow what she says. In other words, she can't order you to do the laundry or order you to wash the dishes.
oh no, now
Oh,
she can teach you roles around the congregation. Yeah. But again, this is all hush hush. I really wouldn't know if sister so and so was doing someone's laundry, but I know from my experience, it was okay. Um, you're going to this house. You can do this role X, Y, and Z. Pay your tithes.
what is
But,
X
but
Y?
well, you can take up a role if you're active in a congregation. You can be given a responsibility. But
Okay,
like
in congregation, not in the house.
not in the house. I
Okay,
wouldn't know if anybody was given
is it
house.
is it a culture where you don't talk about it, where you don't discuss what other sisters are doing?
It's
Like
it's
how
it's discreet. It's
you're
very
not.
discreet.
Okay, it's very discreet.
Hmm.
Okay. Anybody else want to join in with questions? You mind if I open the floor to some questions, sis,
Sure.
that brothers may have? Go ahead, the Barma.
First a comment. This is. All right. First a comment. This just seems like the Justinian laws. It seems something very, very Roman for like a man to have a legitimate wife, and then a man to have a wife that is more like a, so to speak, what people think in the English culture, a concubine. That's what it seems like with this, where they have a legitimate wife, and then they have this wife that's on the low.
Have you the sisters that have been in this situation like yourself ever been referred to as concubines?
That's what I would call it. He's right about that as far as the history matter. But they don't give it a name or anything to keep it discreet. This is just basically what you're going to do. They don't give it a title or anything.
Good way to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now my question. So you can have sexual intercourse in this scenario, and then the woman would pay alms to a man, and if she does well, then she could possibly earn another man that's in the congregation.
Okay, so let me help you with that question. So the alms have nothing to do with the intimacy and the sexual intercourse. If anything, it's just your alms to support, the cause and of course the troops. It's very secretive about how no one knows about how. Say if I was a single sister coming in and I was assigned to household or whatever, so and so.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut that off. Please finish.
Mm-hmm. The alms, that again, I caught that because I couldn't understand how so much a particular sister wanted me to be with her man. I couldn't understand. Find out hearing the conversation, it's the money route. Fine, if he gets another.
So it's a money.
Hmm?
So it's a money grab. Like a sister will want you to be assigned to her husband's house because it's more money for her.
It goes right into the house. Believe it or not, a percentage, I think, at the part of the month goes into the household.
I see. And let's say somewhere in the middle of that, and I'll get back to you, Deborah, too. And somewhere in the middle of that, you decide there's a brother you want to court and possibly marry. It has nothing to do with that house. Are you free and able to do it, even though you were assigned to this other house?
Yes, if you're in good standing. If you, of course, pay your alms, if you're active within the congregation, you do your job right, you could.
And so if you get involved with that brother, does your arms and your funds now stop going to that house and now goes to the relationship you're building with the new brother?
Yes.
Go ahead, Deborah.
So, what I want to clarify is, so there's a way that a woman could be secretly being with a man to produce a child, but that wouldn't be his wife. If this woman was in good standings with this church, would they be able to then, because of good behavior, get their own husband? Like in this case, let's say that the woman she's not able to produce a child. Mm-hmm. So then now she's able to go find another husband or find a husband in the school. If so, is that kept on a hush?
Yeah. It's discreet.
So my question is, so now in the comments, these men are really around each other, knowing that they've been with another woman, with another man's woman, and they're smiling in his brother's face as if he has no clue.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm confused. Wait a minute. Sis, are you saying that if you assign to a house and you start having intimate relationships with the man of that house, if you're in good standings, you can go and get your own husband, a different man?
That's what was basically said to me. It didn't make sense. I didn't want it that way because I'm like, wait a minute. I want to come pure to my future husband. It's
I
like,
don't know what's going on here.
but this is I'm just telling you what's presented to me.
Listen, says I think that your honesty is giving us a clarification of a lifestyle we never thought could ever exist. Basically, as long as it's kept quiet, you basically can commit adultery.
Sad to say.
Amazing. Go ahead, DeBoer.
This is
Please.
my last part. This is why it's coming full circle, because this is why I say it just sounds Justinian. Because General, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Under the Justinian law, the man can take a woman, she may be pure, never had sex before, go before the magistrate. The magistrate says, okay, well, you come into my chamber. So he takes the woman into the chambers, has sex with her, and then gives her to that man after he has had sex with this woman.
Not him, but a noble. A noble can do that. So it is very similar to that. But I to say it was that sophisticated would be giving them credit. Right. This ain't nothing but a bunch of ghetto lust. Wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the danger of finding the truth. The danger is, remember the Lord said, where the righteous are, there is Satan also. And what happens is, because we have the truth, this is why being a priest of the Lord is such a responsibility. Right. Because you have the truth, there is also Satan looking to create all kinds of things where he can prey on it. All these groups were religious groups. Jim Jones killed all those brothers and sisters. Religious group. Heaven's Gate cut off their rod. And all they were homosexuals, were denying themselves. They eventually cut off their rods and under the guise of a religious order. Made massive child molestation in the Roman Catholic Church, done under religious order, which is why it's so important when you come into the truth to make sure that the body of the work that we do stays pure. Right. This man was in the truth. He was in the truth. He came up with me. We came up together. He was in the Queens camp. I was in the Bronx camp. Nick. And so he had every opportunity to stay with the truth. But we all knew, because Marshall had mercy on him, we all knew that there was a homosexual component to the way they operate. And by the way, just so you understand, and I'm gonna come right back to you, sis, this is the way a homosexual would create multiple wives. He would do it this way. He would make it in secret. He would also try to find a way to make it where the wives would have permission. And he also knew what he could use to make the wives give permission: money. Right. So the woman comes with money. The wife is happy because she's getting money. And then the husband gets to have sex with her. And if he doesn't like it, he gets to stay in his monogamous relationship with his wife. And she gets to go on and have sex with somebody else. The only loss is we just ain't got that money no more. We had to get somebody else now. It's a horrible, horrible thing to do that. It's what Puff Daddy was doing. Right. I mean, you take a girl and turn her out, and then you turn around and you use her for as money as long as you can. And when you can't, you just try to get rid of her and you go back to your little happy family. Right. Like, that is an abomination before the Lord. And that's why it's done such in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And what did Christ say, man? Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, for it is hypocrisy. That's right. And that's exactly what's going on. They touted the monogamous relationship. Right. Hey, sis, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said something when you first came on, and I wonder about it now because it may give me some insight. When you first embarked upon IUIC, did you choose them because you were under the impression that they were more pure because they had a one-on-one relationship with a man and a woman?
I wouldn't say it wasn't the marriages, because I feel like I saw marriages in Isupk. I was more so on board because of the teachings they were giving women, and that's just my honest opinion and from what I experienced. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That was your honest experience, and what?
That's just my experience. I like what they were teaching the women, as far as like biblically and like our role in the household. Um, I'm going to be honest with you. If I think about myself before I came into United in Christ, I was walking around like a man, very masculine. I am now more feminine, where it's like I understand my role of silence um, and respect to a man and I can even sew now. I cook. I always was a cook, but like it's my mentality is different. I even respect my body a different way. But like
And you,
um
and you had at the time believed that IUIC could better teach you that.
I yes,
Mm.
that was the impression. My main problem
Too bad you
is
ain't getting none of these ISUPK roughneck. Because you'd have really learned about being a woman with them. They would have been hiding nothing. It wouldn't have been nothing done on the hush hush, none of that. You know, man. Like, but I understand what you're saying.
mhm.
It's you know, it's a tool used by predators to gain your confidence when their intentions are far more darker. Like you have learned those things, and those are things that the ISUPK always taught. And Nate knew those from many years ago.
Mhm.
But the actual experience that you had came from what Nate and others put into the mix of you all later on.
You're right.
It had nothing to do with the truth. You know what I mean? None of those are in the scriptures. None of those are anything that the Lord said to do. And we don't have concubines in this time. You know what I mean? Our brothers and sisters become husbands and wives. Scriptures tell you.
Okay.
So that's okay though. That's okay though, because you know what I mean, now at least you're out of that madness. And a lot of other sisters will see it, and you don't have to end up like Joy Moore. Hey, boy. Hey, big fella. Let him go. Let him go if you don't mind. Like, let him do his thing. Yeah, you man. So, John, you know, he's a bad dude. So questions. I got one other question, sis.
Okay.
I mean, not one other, but a couple of questions coming. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Water, sir. If I could, I two questions on the top of my mind for the sister. One, so like this, in the IUIC, when they do their whole marriage thing, this is kind of a two-part. Is it contractual marriage, like they get married on a contract, like the United States government? And do they also believe in divorce in the organization?
Ooh, very good question. Okay. You guys don't like this. Okay. So, all right. So it is a contract marriage. They do one for, of course, is United in Christ, and then of course they get paperwork from the white man. They go, they support the contract is based on the biblical scriptures, Tobit. But I'm trying to just remember more of your question.
With the contractual marriage, do they believe in divorce?
Okay, so they tell you there is no more divorce, no more. Even they'll tell you, even if you're betrothed to somebody else, because we have a process of before marriage, it's proving betrothal, and then of course the actual marriage, the feast, and then you guys are just married. You can't even step out of betrothal. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Wait a minute. So if you are betrothed to a man,
Mm-hmm.
you can't say, I want to break off this engagement. I don't want to marry you.
Maybe.
Huh? Say again?
It would have to be because of adultery or fornication. But no, you stuck with that person.
Okay, adultery or fornication by you or by him?
Both parties.
How does a man commit adultery in the IUIC?
I'm going to tell you they have a respect. I think they do have a respect of person because I have a sister that shared her experience with me, whereas um, her husband was directed to divorce her simply because they weren't happy with her. Um, I don't.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They were not happy with her.
Yes.
What were they unhappy about, if you don't mind?
Well, he complained about a text message sent to another friend. It was simply a good morning, and you know how you can press the hand to wave at somebody. That's what it
Right.
was.
So
Um,
she waved the hand at another man,
yeah,
and they didn't like that.
they didn't like it. They advised for him to divorce her.
Did he
Um,
divorce?
he pulled up paperwork. They're not divorced, but it's a little confusing because they tell you, okay, you can't divorce, but then they're telling ranking officers, and especially in this matter, to divorce their wife. It's kind of
Mm,
where it's hypocritical,
mm. So they'll direct somebody to divorce their wife based on a text message.
basically. Very petty.
Is that kept hush hush too?
Of course.
Gotcha. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
I mean, I understand that, it's because you're not supposed to have any other communication with the man. I get that. But other than that, she's an excellent wife. I can't, so I don't imagine how he wants to hand
Well,
paperwork to a pregnant woman, 7 months pregnant with his
well, let me
child.
let me say this. That's not true that you're not supposed to have any communication with any other man.
Hmm.
Men direct all kinds of operations with brothers' wives, and you know what I'm saying. You're not supposed to sit, in at the bar with another man's wife or make a sexual comment to another man's wife. And it's up to that man if he decides that you can communicate with another man. In this case, it wasn't even the husband, I'm assuming, that didn't like it. It was done by somebody else who had rank and felt that it was inappropriate, correct?
Right.
So that's actually not true. Man, what they're doing. And according to the scriptures, you have to divorce your wife for a reason. You can't just, the Lord even said if a man have a wife, one that he love and one that he hate, that she's not to be diminished. The one he hates is not supposed to lose what she has,
Right.
because he has another wife that he loves. So that's
Right.
incorrect. It's just more IUIC nonsense. I'm gonna let a couple brothers follow up. Go ahead.
My last question to the sister, Sister Salaki, if I could.
Go ahead.
So, sis, with all the things that you know and brought out, are going to even continue to inform us on with IUIC, my question is, they dog the UPK. According to them, we are the worst niggas on earth. You know what I mean? How do they justify? They talk about us because we openly believe in multiple wives. We follow the scriptures and we believe in it and we promote this ideology.
And obviously they do too.
All right. How do they justify the lies to you all? How they dog us for having multiple wives and all the things they say about us? But as you have seen behind the scenes, they do worse than what they ever accused us of. How did they justify that to you all to make? How did they justify that to make you continue to follow them in this lascivious activity that goes on in their church?
Very good question. It takes some kind of bond with the man that does choose you. Because I had all types of questions. I was like, wait a minute. Because, like you said, they do. They throw y'all under the bus for having multiple wives. And, they tarnish your name about it. But like, they turn around and do something different. For you to be okay with that, I have to say, you have to go, it's manipulation. It really is. It's no other word to describe it. It's pure manipulation.
Mm,
And I mean, that's what I experienced. I don't know about anyone else, but
mm,
like it's he's in your eyes and he's telling you, look, it's okay. This is our thing.
mm,
Mm.
mm,
Yeah, good. That-
mm, mm.
and
You got some good. You got some good. Give it to the brother in the back. You got some good sexual predators up in there.
Shalom, sis.
Sure.
This-
Sorry for the things you had to go through, by being up in the IUIC. The ISUPK has been putting them on blast for years. I'm sorry we had to go through that personally. But my question is, with all the evil that go on in that place, how is it, that, they keep it a secret? How is it that it's just not getting out with you? How do they justify them keeping everything how's this evil not been out and it have been a public knowledge?
Because the women don't speak of it. If you do speak of it and someone knows, they're gonna say you're crazy. You're crazy. You should have been on medication. People, of course, they want to say when people come into the truth, you stop taking medication. You're trying to get pure and right. You stop taking your meds. I ain't never been on medication in my life.
Now they don't direct you to stop taking your meds, right?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Okay.
One more thing, Joe.
Come on, brother. Stick to questions, y'all. All right. The comments run a little long.
In your opinion, sis, are there sisters that are in danger in like dealing with this? Like,
Are their sisters being abused in it?
Like that are abused and feel trapped and wish they had a voice that are in there, that, to your knowledge?
I wouldn't say sisters that play my role. I feel more empathy and more sympathy for the wives. Because say
Oh,
if he does want somebody else and she's not okay with it, you can see the hurt in her face. Um, and and some I, they love their men. They'll do anything for them. But I mean, they'll tell you there's a lot of trials that come in marriage to a man in the truth. There's pain. So I see most of, from my perspective, it's the wives that has more of a burden on her shoulder.
last question in the back. Two more questions before we go.
All right, it's like I said, I have a real quick question. The passing of Joy Morgan, I wanted to know, did the head of the IUIC or anybody make a statement concerning of Joy Morgan? Meaning, like, did they ever make a statement about the responses of people saying that IUIC murdered the sister? What were the statements that was made in response to that?
The statements they made for Joy Morgan is that they are very, very sorry about what happened to the young lady. They did get in detail about what happened. So from what I was taught, she was messing with a man that was on medication, but I guess he was off, and she wasn't supposed to be seeing him. Um, Again, they tell us women to make sure that if we want to see somebody, if we want to date, go through leadership, because you don't know who's coming in here. We all come in, with sickness and elements, from being in the world and being lost, and not following the commandments. We're cursed.
Let me help you out, because they are such liars.
Right.
Joy Morgan was raped and murdered by an African who just couldn't control himself when he got hold of her. It had nothing to do with her messing around. She obeyed the rules of that organization. So what they're saying is totally a lie. I just wanted to add that to it. I got another question. You good? Good. Con. All right. Anybody else before we go? Sister, I didn't even give y'all a shot. No? Nobody want to cross over that line. Go ahead, just grab that mic real quick.
Sir, I do have one question. What would be your comment towards sisters that is planning to join IUIC? What would be your response towards that?
You said, I'm sorry, repeat that one more time. Can you say it in the mic a little bit more?
Yes, what would be your response towards sisters that's planning to join IUIC? And what would be your response towards them?
I would tell her to make sure she doesn't give her information to everybody. I will also tell her to keep her legs closed by all means.
Why would you tell her not to give her information to everybody?
Well, it's just I was betrayed. I thought I was talking to a sister I could trust, and so it's just I wouldn't get close. I wouldn't say. I mean, you're not supposed to stay to yourself. You're supposed to, commune. But I just wouldn't get close to people. I would really. It will be a while before you get words out of me. I'll tell you that much. I'm too outgoing.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Good question. Go ahead, Doc. Is that it?
Okay. Yes, I would. Okay, I would. Say to myself a little bit. I would definitely keep my legs closed by all means. I would focus.
And you say, damn right. And when you say keep your legs closed by all means, because of the fact, meaning you're not gonna have sex with a man and then the two of you are gonna be necessarily married together forever. So you would keep your legs closed so that you don't get passed around. Is it something like that? Am I missing it?
Definitely passed around, and then I don't want to attach myself to anyone else if it's not my husband, because some people are just not loyal.
And that I would think that's kind of like it is in the world. You sleep with a man and leave him, sleep with another, or whatever the case may be. Because they seem to just let a woman go and marry another man quietly, as long as it doesn't get out. Different than passing women around. No different than trying to prostitute them, because that's basically what is going on. They're turning their wives into pimps, who's pimping the other women for the money. And if their husband decide to take a piece of the candy, they don't have a problem with it because that sister's bringing in money. Am I wrong?
Some sisters are like that. I really, like I said, there was a sister who was like desperate because she's about her bag. She's okay if he's good, and she felt like it's not like I was a sister that was trying to get around anyway. So you definitely have to know your role. But some sisters are not okay with it, and some of the men know that their wives aren't okay with it, and they try to keep it hush hush. They'll move you to one school and have the wife at another. I'm not to say it's what I want to say. It's wise, evil wisdom.
Good point.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what is the role of homosexuals in the IUIC?
You can't roll like that at all. You got to get right. You can't even sit with us with that spirit.
No, okay. Well, what about Big Frida?
Big Frida. sorry. She gotta stay at home. She gotta watch at home.
He's got to stay home.
Big Frida.
Yeah, that's how they do homosexuality. You gotta get that spirit off. I mean, there's some people that according, I'm just listening, playing by ear with class. There's some people who have transformed, but it's a hard spirit to get off. I heard that, you just it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting, and like if you get caught in that mess, they gonna kick you out.
Gotcha. So if you have lived that homosexual lifestyle, they'll give you time to get that spirit off of you.
I don't know if they give you time because I never in my congregation. I'm gonna say I don't know any gay men.
But now let me ask you honestly.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure by now you've seen the tape where Big Frida was twirling and dancing in the middle of the class, right? Where he was a homosexual Vogue dance. You didn't see that tape? Okay. Maybe you just haven't seen the latest.
Maybe not. I'm not aware. No.
You're familiar with who Big Frida is, right?
I know Big Frida. She's I think there's a song girls be dancing to. I don't get down like that no more. I got younger sisters who's like in the world, but I don't keep up with it because it's nasty. So
it's a song that I don't understand the correlation between the song and him.
Are you referring to someone as Big Frida within is United in Christ?
Yeah, the Big Frida that's in United in the one that's in the organization you left.
Oh, oh my goodness! It just settled. It just set in. Who are you talking about?
Now we get down to the brass tacks.
Oh my goodness!
Now, come on, now don't hold back on me now, sis. You brought me right to the gates. To the pearly gates. You got walk on in now.
Okay, so all right. So he takes that to a high offense. High offense. He said that he can be serious, but at the same time he can enjoy himself. Yeah. I know. I think I know you're talking about really big, our biggest guy.
Yeah. You saw the tape of him twirling, didn't you?
No.
Can you pull up that tape? I'm gonna show you a tape right quick.
Okay.
You might not have seen it, but the world has seen this tape.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna show you. Go ahead.
In the meantime, while we give that, it's too wild to bring up that cat that had an affair with a transgender. You remember that cat?
I remember. He shot the transgender in the face.
Oh,
are you familiar with that story, sis?
I am familiar with that story.
Man, he was part of the congregation, wasn't he?
Gee, I really don't remember. All I know is it's mentioned as a catastrophe because of disorder and the lack of self-control. That was mentioned about when we had a teaching about the fruits of the spirit. Believe it or not, that was brought up when we discussed about emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence also is fruitful. You have to have self-control. I do. Yeah, that was brought up for an example for that kind of matter.
Yeah, real hypocritical of them to bring that up when that has been going on inside the organization. You got it for me? All right.
So like dinner.
Go ahead.
Another thing. So with that being said, if men are against homosexuality in IUIC, are you aware that they actually pose as women on psyops on social media, meaning they have fake pages where they parade themselves as a woman to do psyops on different groups.
That's crazy.
Yeah, why would a man do that?
I don't have the answers for that, sir. I'm sorry.
Have you heard of it though?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I did hear on Clubhouse. I don't think it was anybody in our group. That there was a woman portraying that she was a man. I don't know if anybody heard about that. But wow, that flipped my wig. I don't wear wigs, but I'm just saying. But no,
Was she in? Was she a part of the IUIC?
No. Oh, that story. Whew. Yeah, I don't know what camp she was in, but hey, it wasn't Isupk, so.
Huh? Okay, sis, we're gonna play the video for you, okay?
Okay.
Take a look at this.
To when he put the keys down. I'm gonna show you when the demon enters in. He takes on a demon to do this. Oh. Okay, wait, go back.
Oh, sorry.
Before he puts the keys down.
Right, the
very beginning. Now watch this. No, that's not the beginning.
Before, yeah, it might not be on this tape. It gotta be right there, right?
No, it's when he puts the keys down. That's right after the spin.
On this tape.
Can you find the other one, please? Because you got to see the demon enter into this cat. Like everybody need to see it, huh?
I'm gonna find it, sir. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, we'll come back. Your hearts, go ahead. So long.
Good. Sir, I got you right now, sir. I'm bringing it up right now.
Whoever was rubbing his head, it wasn't.
It says, have you seen that tape before?
No,
not of us, but of him.
No. I haven't seen that. That looks like him very young, and he when he describes his youth, he does say that he wasn't easy to build up to where he is now. He does claim that he was flawed, but he's renewed. So
he never explained his flaw.
No.
Let me show you the fullness of his flaw. Let him play that for a second. Hey, I'll play that for a second. Good. You got it up?
I'ma stop weeping. I'ma stop crying. When I'm in trouble, when I struggle, but daddy knows. For the keys, for the boss, for the keys, that's gonna be right. Hallelujah. When I'm hurt, my podcast.
What was that? Hey sis, would you classify that as a demon?
He should definitely be standing and being masculine. You gotta be careful how you behave in the public eye.
So you would, and in the privacy of your own home. And so you would consider that feminine, not masculine.
Yeah, there is some femininity in that. Yeah.
I'm glad you said it, sis, so I don't have to be accused of falsely accusing a homosexual of being a homosexual. So your honesty was just absolutely refreshing.
I even think if he would have did it in front of the females, would have looked different. But when we are feasting and celebrating, they keep it separate, and that's I see. It looks bad.
Yeah, it let all the juice out. No women being no women being in the room. All the sugar came up to the top. Yeah. That's what's really going on in there. Go ahead. Question? Go ahead, sis. Yes, sis. The sister has a question for you.
I'm
Go ahead.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Yeah.
I also seen a video, this is a while ago, of Nasty Nate. He was chopping his butt in the air, mimicking a dance that most women would do.
I haven't seen that.
Didn't see that either. Y'all missing a lot in IUIC.
We can't even clap around. We're very careful how we move our bodies because we don't want to seduce nobody. And
well, Nate did an excellent twerk job in the congregation, and we're gonna help him out with it. We're gonna show it to you. Take a look at it, and just so you know, I'm showing you these things so that you can know that how you handled. I mean, what you've come out of was really a horrible, lust-filled, homosexual-led, diabolical, manipulative organizations. And that they are destroying brothers and sisters on a daily basis. I just wanted to add that into you. All right. I'll play another tape for you, and I got 2 more questions coming my way. Tell me when you. All right, just let me know. Go ahead, Op. You up first.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
My first question is how long was you in the IUIC?
I want to say for 1 year watching at home, and then a year actually in the congregation.
Okay, so within a year, you had plenty of conversations with multiple sisters. Am I correct?
Correct.
Have the conversation ever came up that they joined the UIC because they teach against multiple wives?
No. Believe it or not,
let me ask you.
I talked to a lot of women who were actually like related to people in there, who had a cousin and that's why they were there.
Let me ask you a question. Do you perceive IUIC as an organization that has one public figure, one public appearance, and one private way of doing things?
I have to say, yeah, they do. I'm not going to that. Yeah, they do.
That would explain. Good. Yeah, I'm coming to that in a second. Sister?
Shalom, sis.
Yep, she can.
I just want to say I'm definitely sorry that you didn't experience the sisterhood that you experienced in the Isupk because it's amazing over here. You had mentioned that the women are separate on feast days. Why is that?
We sit separate from the men, of course, because there's of course there's clean and unclean, but at the same time we're women and we don't want to distract the men. And of course, when women also have children, so we don't want to, distract them with the babies or our attire. I guess we keep ourselves fully covered, but like we don't want to tempt our men to, step out of the word and not focus, especially on the Sabbath or in a feast day.
Big Frida couldn't do that dance with all that distraction. Right. Kids running around and all that. That would have messed up all that. Yeah. Just so you know, sis, that's an abomination from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to separate on feast days. Matter of fact, that's the time for us to come together. That's right. And on feast days, we don't have to separate the men from their children. The time that you separated enough doing the work.
Right.
So when we come together on feast days, that's the time to celebrate all our families and kids and children. You understand? Really, just so you know, that's a homosexual's way. Like a homosexual would do that. He would separate all the women so that the men can go into all the homosexual things that they want to do, which is why we have tapes of all this, these brothers dancing and among the male like, why would you even want to dance in front of a bunch of males? Like, that's homosexual in itself. Like, you twerking and twirling in front of men, knowing that the men are separate from the women and the children, that in itself is a completely gay thing to do.
Right.
And
I mean, I think, from my impression, I thought it was weird.
You had good insight.
Yeah, but I mean, I understood what they were saying. You know, they don't want the, either the younger woman to tempt the younger men, or
even that is all of that is psychological manipulation. A younger woman can tempt a young man at the bus stop. A younger woman can tempt the man at the grocery store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to separate the women because you don't want the young men in the organization to go after the women.
Right.
Why don't you want young men to go after women in the organization? You want them to go get women on the outside? Or maybe you want to make sure that they're undistracted so you can twirl in front of them. Show your sexual prowess in front of them. Or send dick pics in the sorry for the kids. In the text messages, like he's been known to do in the past. Like, all of the lies, they just it's going to take you a while to decompress from all the lies and games that they have filled you with. But that's all of that's a lie. All of that is
out?
Say that again.
So did he get kicked out? Because I can't. I wouldn't dare send my breast on the Telegram. No.
For the twirl. You saying?
I'm shocked that the dick.
Oh no, it was the bishop. It was the bishop that sent his picture of his phallic to the entire congregation.
Right.
Bishop. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His phallic is in effigy across the internet. Available for all to see. A great number of that congregation left after they got those pictures.
Right.
They packed up and attempted to create a new organization, which I don't know if it still exists, but they attempted to do it because they were so appalled at the fact that he did it. And let me tell you something, that's what homosexuals do. When they dealing with a congregation of men, homosexuals seek out other homosexuals. You know what I mean? That's what happened in the church. Nobody knew what was going on in the church until Donnie McKirkland turned around and made the song, "We Fall Down, We Get Up." Next thing you know, what are you talking about? And he went on Oprah Winfrey and told the world how in the church the down low started. Once again, where the Lord's is, so Satan is close by. That's why you brothers and sisters, you got to be the gatekeepers on the truth. Because if you're not, predators will come in here and they will begin to prey on your doctrine. They will want to change everything in here like they did in that organization to be homosexual. The homosexuals came in quietly and started building up their posterity inside the churches. Now the churches is basically a homosexual organization. That's exactly what's going on in IUIC. Everything is hush hush. Everything is quiet. Meanwhile, the men is being slowly separated from the women. You understand? Women being passed around, which means they're being lowered, like as though they're worthless and nothing to protect and watch over. And as a result, the proliferation of homosexuality is going on in the church. And Nate had long been suspected of homosexuality back in the 80s. And he was being protected by Marshall, who was over the school at the time. And he was trying to be merciful on him. You know what I mean? That's why now today that I'm in charge, no homosexual is allowed in here for no reason whatsoever. You get caught. Homo. You got to go. You know what I mean? Because that is a diabolical spirit that seeks to get in anytime you come trying to come close to the Lord. Part of coming close to the Lord is humbling yourself.
Right.
And the problem with humbling yourself is it makes you vulnerable to predators. The Lord said, Christ said this, I send you as sheep among wolves. The wolves are watching. You come out of the world, you gritty and hard because you didn't have to deal with the world. But now you come into the truth and try to be a brother or try to be a sister, you now become a little vulnerable because you open up a little bit. But Christ said this, be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. And that's what we're supposed to become.
Right.
So that's all that is, sis. I know you don't know, but I'm telling you from 40 years of experience, all you seeing, all them little rules, and we got to be this, and we don't want the young men distracted, and we don't want this and want that. That's homosexual talk. That's quiet homo talk to get the men to be freed up. Homosexuals do it all the time. They send pictures of their phallic out to a bunch of people just to see who gonna bite on this. Who gonna come back to them and say, hey man, what you doing, man? So he can find out who's the homosexuals in the group and he can begin to work with them. Question.
Like, so if I could, courtesy of Captain Mama Quad, when we said Chicago is that he got that bug. He got that bug.
Then he got that bug. That's good. That's good. And that's why Esau is working so hard so that you don't label homosexuality as wrong. You understand? Like he's trying to get you to normalize it. He's trying to get you to not be highly offended when you see it. When your natural instinct is confusion when you see it. Even a child, if you bring a man in here dressed like a woman, and the child looks at that man, and then all of a sudden he hears that masculine voice that's dressed up like a woman, he gets confused. He begins to look at the homosexual, trying to understand what it is he's seeing, because that's his brain trying to differentiate what am I looking at here, because his brain is already programmed to know the difference between male and female. That's why kids learn mommy and daddy without you having to even tell them. They'll just learn it from the rip, because that's the natural order. So it destroys them to bring that in. So just to finish up, religions do that to our people. And all these religions, they insert these things in them. But it's not going to happen in the ISUBK.
That's right.
We're not having it. So since you'll learn over time that what these things are. All right. A couple more questions. I'm going to play the tape. Yeah, let me play the tape. Let me play the tape and I'll come back and get y'all questions. All right?
Okay.
Go ahead. Check it out.
You ever see this? I came through the wall because I ain't built like they are. You ever see this wall they got? But the brothers, that's the ostrich wall. You ever see this? I came through the wall because I ain't built like they are. You ever see this wall they got? But the brothers, that's the ostrich wall.
That tape. Here's how you know a homosexual. He said, I can't do the walk. But why did he say he can't do it? He didn't say, I'm not a woman.
Because he said he's not built like they are, sir.
In other words, if he was built like them, he could do it. He didn't say, I'm not a woman, so I don't know how to do this.
Right.
But he thinks I could do this if I was built like that. That's homosexuality. And well hidden. It's well hidden. Every homosexual is not flaming.
Right. You
know what I mean? Many of them are very quiet about it and all of that. And that's what's going on here. And I feel sorry for them brothers, because I guarantee you there's just like it's a host of young women being passed around in that organization, I can guarantee you that they have a good, healthy congregation of young homosexual men that they are involved in as they move about. Oh yeah, give it a little time, it'll come out. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I could understand he probably also saying he can't do the walk because he tried to do it before in the mirror.
Yeah, you're right. Like why did he feel like he had to demonstrate? You know what I mean? Like he really wanted to do that to be one. That's what's really going on. Hey, somebody has that hand, brother in the back had his hand.
Thanks a lot here, General. I just want to know what's the significance of the color purple?
Christ. They say they came up with the color they agreed with the color purple because of the robe that that was put on Christ when he was hung.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you notice that that's also done by T.D. Jakes?
Right.
Was done by Creflo Dollar.
Right.
Was definitely done by Eddie Long.
Right. Oh, God.
It's done by many preachers, and whenever they wear the purple robe, you also notice that it is a long robe to the ground. That is a total homosexual uniform that is going on in that congregation. All right. Somebody over here had their hand up. I'll bring it back to you. Somebody over here had their hand up. Nobody. All right. Let me get to the brother in the back. Go ahead.
Carnival Khan, General.
Go ahead. Please.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Regarding IUIC, have you ever heard them sending brothers from IUIC into the ISUPK to get information or to cause strife?
No. I was informed that we had actual loyal people in the congregation, and they actually turned around on them and started reporting for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah. That's classified. yeah. Some of that did take place in the ISUPK, but you know, it was pretty terrible that they tried to go and spy on us. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of they could have just asked us. You know what I mean? We had no problem with that. That covers you on that. Who else had their hand up? Oh, you got more from Atlanta? That was it? Come on up here to the front and come to you next. Somebody else had their hand up? Somebody else? Okay, let me just get the bar off. Go ahead. Sis, I want to thank you for hanging with us. We well past the time now, and I appreciate it. If you're okay with it, we'll let the brothers and sisters ask you a couple more questions. Did you have your hand? You good? Okay. All right. Thank you, sis. Go ahead,
sir.
Oh wait, you got another Atlanta?
Please. My question is
go ahead. You take it out.
With everything you doing, with all the Salakias, with all the questions that we asked and everything that you learned in IUIC, you know, ISUPK, April 12th, we'll be having our Passover coming up. Should we expect to meet you there, sis?
That's up to my brother.
Let me just say this: if you want to come, you're invited. You can come on down.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So my next question, and this will be my last question.
Go ahead.
Are you aware of also a class taught by Nate where he instructs some kind of a sexual abuse to a woman if she didn't want to give it up to her man? Are you aware of that? And if you have seen that, is that a deterrent to you, or are these videos kept in the dark for sisters to not see? Because I would think that would be a deterrent for sisters after they saw that kind of video.
I'm very attentive to a lot of the wifely teaching videos. They're like one of my favorites. I haven't witnessed anything abusive. But I do. They do tell us to give it up, especially if you're married. If you're married, you know the bed is not defiled, and you shouldn't be withholding your body from your man because that's just scripture. But I haven't witnessed or heard of any threatening videos. I mean, if anything, you know, they like to call us the ostrich, or or the Battle House woman, the wicked lady. I mean, the names go on and on if you're not, being subject to your husband.
Okay. Go ahead.
And Salaki says, I just want to ask, last year, I think it was last year, or maybe even the year before, there was a video, I'm pretty much sure it was last year, where the sisters had an event where they were dancing and doing like kind of praise dance almost. And dancing with them was what was clearly transsexual Edomite man that was in the midst of them. And at the end of the video, the sister that was the head of them said that she wanted to thank the brother for being so courageous to come out and dance with them. Are you aware of this video or this event that happened? And if you are, if you're not, how do you feel about them allowing a transsexual Edomite to come and dance amongst their sisters, be amongst the children that are in that congregation?
That I haven't seen that, and that sounds crazy because that's a whole different spirit. That's that baffles me. That's wow.
Any other questions? Anybody? Who's speaking? Hey, what's going on, Trinidad? You got to call it out. Okay, go ahead, Trinidad. You have a question for the sister? Come to you.
Just one question to the sister. Because you know, throughout the
Shalom.
Sis, can you understand him?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Sawak, you got with the mic.
Yeah.
Pull it away from you a little bit. Pull the mic back a little bit. Yeah. Try now.
Yeah, shalom, sis. You understand me
now?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, sis.
Keep that mic away. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, just a quick question, sis.
I'm listening.
So a lot of our sisters, any parent as well, to be looking on. Right? The question was asked earlier on, what you would advise a sister, in joining the IOS. So just a follow-up question on that because our other sister,
he said, what would you tell us that wants to join the IUIC? You just kind of follow up from the earlier question.
Okay. I would tell them to listen to what Isupk says first. The home of the truth. Do your research. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was a great answer, sis. Sis, you got a question? You need a mic. Somebody? Microphone? Say again, you. But
I'm
may
listening.
Not.
Shalom, sir. I just wanted to ask you. I was just curious where you studying with the ISUPK right now. Or what are you doing now? Why are you studying it? No one?
I'm not studying right now. If anything, I keep in practice of my routine of my 4 chapters, and consistently being praying. I'm not studying right now with under anybody.
And sis, let me ask you something. What are your 4 chapters? What is that?
It's well, you can develop your own routine. You just have to make sure you keep God's word flowing. Just to keep your mind focused. You can start wherever you want. You can also take notes wherever you want, or what you remember. Sometimes leadership will ask you, "Look, what was your chapter? So what did you learn?" But I'll do Old Testament, to get some history. I'll do some of the New Testament, to learn the walk of Christ. I might even get into the Apocrypha, to get some wisdom. It depends. And sometimes I pull out the Psalms because
Gotcha.
there's 100 books in there, over 100 books in there. So you gotta sometimes grab onto that.
Let me ask you this. I heard at one time that Nate's wife had a program for sisters coming into the IUIC. Is that true?
Sometimes she
Like, Go
most
ahead.
of the senior sisters, they do lead sister circles. This is underneath a man's authority. That no woman can teach without the authority of a man.
Gotcha.
I am going to say that. Now,
But,
will a
but
woman lead it?
women,
Yeah.
but women do teach.
Yeah. I want to say mentor, coach, but it's not. Everything has to be approved through a man. I've seen it live in action where a woman was about to start, it got cut off because it wasn't approved by so and so. So
But
everything has to go through the men. We follow the
okay,
men.
but so a sister could be approved to teach a class in the school.
I wouldn't say it's a full class. It would have to be like a session. We don't no, we
Okay,
don't have classes. We don't got classes. It's like a brief session. And you can ask questions. This can
and
be
so
questions
so
about your household, questions about your
mhm.
marriage, even physical, about your health and body.
But in this session, it would be approved, and then there would be a sister who would break down the scriptures in terms of what it is the other sisters should be learning.
As far as breaking it down,
In other words,
yeah.
what is this approved session consist of? Been approved. What does it consist of?
Okay, it consists of
Meaning, what is the role of the sister in charge? That's what I'm getting to. Is she teaching? She in an authoritative position like the podium?
No.
Okay.
All heads have to be covered. We're all seating. No one's sitting above nobody.
Okay.
Not unless she's coming up to a person asking a question, or the same for like playing a game. But yeah, everything goes through the leadership first. So say if they were doing a teaching about health and hygiene and bringing out scriptures, it goes to the men first, then it comes out to us.
Okay, but who would be teaching it about the health and hygiene? Who would be actually pulling those scriptures?
The women.
The woman would be, so there would be one specific woman, or everybody would be able to pull a scripture on?
There'll be about, I want to say maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, so 3 or 4 elder sisters would work together to pull these scriptures out to younger sisters.
Yeah.
I got you. And they would break down what it is the scripture says about it.
Right.
Got you. Yeah, that's a rough one. It's a rough one. Well, sis, we took up so much of your time. You gave us so much good insight.
Not a problem.
I ain't get to anything else. I'll be back on the round for everybody listening. I'm coming on the round table of truth this Friday. And guess what? Damn right. And I'm bringing to the Midwest Monster of Mayhem and his team the video of them asking white children the doll question. When they asked them about the black-white doll, we gonna see what white children said. And if this don't knock you off your sock, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because this video right here gonna rip your guts out and put them back inside you. Okay, so join me Friday with Captain Malquad, the Midwest Monster of Mayhem, on his show, Round Table of Truth, with all his team. We're going to break that joint down and really show you the mind control that's been on us since slavery. Princess, how do you pronounce your name again?
Amana.
Amana, I want to thank you so much for being
Thank
so
you.
courageous to joining us. Okay.
Not a problem.
I also want you to know, if you desire it, this is up to you, of course. If you desire it, that I have an excellent team of counselors in the ISUPK. You understand? Right. General Muhammad will definitely get with you if you want to, and really decipher the lies from the truth and get you on the right track. We always attempt to help, you know, those among us. If you're having a financial issue, a domestic issue, a homeless issue, an issue with food, clothing, anything like that, I want to give you an open invite to let us know, and we will attempt to reciprocate all the goodness that you spread with us tonight, okay?
Thank you.
You're most welcome. You take care of yourself, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
You too, sis. Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to invite everybody to pay their tithes. Give me my goddamn money, damn it. You understand? You see how hard we working up in here, man? You see what we trying to stop? You see this nonsense here? You twerking, homos. What's this? Passing women around? You see all this going on out here? This is why the ISUPK is some hard-headed niggas that don't flex off of the mark. It'll take a lot of work to do this the right way. Big shout out to all camps, all captains, officers, generals, troopers, and all the sisters across the country who have held this truth down against all odds. You've been here since 1969. Support the truth, man. I'll see you again this Friday on the Round Table of Truth podcast. I'm doing Chicago, y'all. I'm all up in it. He always promotes. Look, here you go. Come on. Oh, I thought you was close. Okay, General Q will be in the building. Hold us down. I thought you was hitting me with another promotion. We also going up to what reservation? The Menominee Reservation here in Illinois. We're going up to there Saturday, man. We'll be filming it live. That'll be an amazing. Big shout out to Captain DeBar Moth holding it down with his team out in Milwaukee, doing it up. Other camps will be joining us, man. Hey, man, I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, fam.
Shalom is real. Join us this Friday on the Round Table of Truth podcast, hosted by Captain of 13,000 Mawakwa, as we have a special guest, Commanding General Yahanna. That's right, Commanding General Yahanna going to be live on the set in Chicago on the Round Table of Truth, alongside 6th SEAL General Kabbalah Moth, also going to be in the building on the panel, getting it in with the Aki. Check us out, Israel, live this Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time on the Round Table of Truth. I'll see you there. Shalom.
Gangster about that. You know what I think I know, Mayat? I think the only real gangsters left are Commanding General Yahanna's. I think we're the last gangsters on earth.
Gotta watch that.
We got 5 women. We're always in a nightclub all the time. We're with the brothers. We're drinking liquor, and people are terrified of us. I think we're the last gangsters. I think there are no gangsters, but the Israelite school of UPK.
Are you black? Take a look in the mirror, man. Look, man, you got a legitimate beef, all right? But it ain't with us, okay? Are you black? Hey, look, man, don't let me question the fact whether I'm black. You know, I bet you niggas do think y'all white. College don't mean shit. Y'all niggas. And you gonna be niggas forever. Just like us. Niggas.
It was never what a fake nigga think. It was always what a real nigga think. I made my name up in these streets like a real nigga. I keep them pistols in my Jeep like a real nigga. I make sure all my homies eat like a real nigga.
Yashala means prince with power. That's all it means. A prince with power. Why do you think you act like princes, man? A prince is royalty, man. Even our destroyed state in America, we still act like royalty. Right. Well, we don't rock gold chains, gold earrings, gold fronts, man. That's all Southern people that's royal. A royal heritage, a royal bloodline. That's who we are naturally. We just don't know it.
Shout out to Yahanna out in Chicago with these badass sweatshirts. I look good as shit in it. God damn it. Y'all should go get one. Badass sweat hoods. UBK, nigga university.
Hoodie season. Used to pick a switch before I took a beat. Now forget the stick, it ain't what you thinking. Yeah, just feel like hoodie season. It's hard on my sleeve.